What's up, guys? It's Chris.
What's up, guys? It's Chris. You're watching Plumbing Explained, and this is Unclogged, episode 11.
I get gophers landing in my pool.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Once in a while I come out and there is a dead gopher.
Oh my god. That's horrible. Do they chew up your yard?
I don't. Before, here on the side alley was dirt.
Right.
And then, so they were digging over there. But once we poured the concrete there, I don't see the holes anymore, but I do see the gopher ending up in my pool dead. So once a year, I dig out either a rat or two rats and a gopher and even a rabbit out of my pool.
That's crazy.
That either people tell me maybe they ate poison and they are
Maybe
thirsty,
that's probably what it is.
looking for water,
That's exactly probably what it is.
and they run looking for water and they die there.
That's exactly what it is. I bet you anything that's what's going on.
Yeah, but every year I put.
So this is part 2 of the last episode, Spartan versus flexshaft, where we had the Spartan cable on our Redneck 75 machine. We were able to poke a hole in this grease clog that the flexshaft was having some trouble with. But to be honest, the flexshaft was only having trouble because my battery on my Milwaukee was low. I think the flexshaft would have been just fine if I had a charged battery. So, I mean, here we are, guys. We got the thing draining with the Spartan 75, the Redneck 75, and now we're going to go ahead and clean the clog with the Ridgid K9-204 flexshaft. This machine is quickly becoming one of my favorite machines in my entire arsenal. Now, I'm really glad that I've got a good variety of machines for a lot of different variations of clogs and different types of drain lines and different types of problems that we could be, dealing with as a plumber. But this machine here is one of the most versatile machines, and you guys know I love versatility in my machines. This machine right here goes from 2 to 4 inch drain lines. You could probably get it into 1.5 inches if you got the little one chain knocker, but 2 to 4 inch drain lines is what it's recommended for. And I haven't had a drain yet, really, that this thing has come up against that it hasn't been able to unclog without user error. I mean, I've had a few errors getting to know this machine. I'm new to it, but since I've learned it, I haven't had really any problems, and the thing is just amazing. As you're going to see here, it cleans lines like nothing else. So I'm changing the knocker now. That's the tip of the flex shaft. That's what does all the unclogging, descaling, and scouring, the cleaning. My knocker here was sent to me by a guy who works at Ridgid. He's one of the product managers there, I believe, named Jeff Albertini. He's a great guy, man. Easy to work with, just solid guy. Convinced me for sure that Ridgid flex shaft was the future. The guy's awesome. Anyways, so when you're putting your knocker on, you always want a 1 inch little bushing in between the bottom end of the knocker, and then a bushing in between the top and bottom knocker. So that bushing in the middle there is mainly for protecting the inner knocker when you've got these bladed knockers. It's mainly for protecting the flex shaft cable. Sorry, not the inner knocker. But when you've got these bladed knockers, they can actually damage the flex shaft itself. So you want to make sure that you protect the inside if you can. I mean, sometimes you have to remove that to get through a tough trap or something like that in the wall, or in the ground. But other than that, you want to make sure that you've got that little rubber sheet, that little piece of PEX or whatever it is, that sheath in between your flex shaft, the top and bottom.
I got them into playing StarCraft on a network.
StarCraft too, yeah.
Against each other. So,
Really?
And they were 10 years old.
Back then? Oh, that's so great. That was back when I was playing. I lived right around the corner.
I see. Yeah, so or even Army Man.
Yep, Army Men. Yep, I played.
So me and this customer right now are just having casual conversation about some real-time strategy games we used to play in the 90s, and it's kind of crazy because we both played the same games. He played these games with his sons that are close to my age, and we played them back around the same time, and we lived like a block away from each other, so it's very, very possible that me and these guys battled each other online at one point. Me and my cousins were addicted to these games called Age of Empires, and even my sisters, a lot of my friends, my dad even played, and this guy and his kids played too, so it's just really cool to kind of connect with them on that level. I was like, man, this guy's awesome after that.
I mean, I already liked him, but this was like, you know, nail in the coffin. I really like this guy.
Yeah.
So they were still just fooling around.
Right. So one thing that's beautiful about the flex shaft is, number one, you don't need the ugly gloves. Number two, you can feed like this with just one hand. You're not worried about the cable binding up on you and tangling up and hurting you or damaging your tech or, you know, any you know, expensive flooring or anything around you. You know, there's been so many times where the cable has just done some wild things, guys. I've been doing this a long time, so I've come up against some crazy amount of different situations that you just would not believe has happened. You can only plan for so much, honestly. I do my best to make sure that I'm prepared for every situation possible, but it's Murphy's Law. I mean, whatever can go wrong will go wrong, guys, and that's just the way it goes in plumbing. So when you're doing unclogging with the flex shaft, like normally, if the line was a little bit bigger, I'd get my camera in there. I don't think I could get this camera in there through the clean out with the flex shaft. So I was only able to run the flex shaft and then the camera. But what I was looking for was I was waiting to feel the stoppage with the flex shaft. And because I knew that the stoppage was so solid in there, I knew I was going to hit it. So right when I hit it, I pulled back a few inches, and then I started running the flex shaft, and then I pushed the flex shaft into the stoppage. I pushed the flex shaft all the way up to the stoppage just to find it, and then you pull back, and then you start running, and then you push into the stoppage. That way you get your RPMs built up, and then when you hit that stoppage, you're hitting full blast, and you just tear that thing apart. Instead, if you get pushed up right up to it, and then you start trying to start the flex shaft, it's probably going to bind up on you. I mean, that's I've had it happen, and it's understandable. So normally, another thing, I'm making a mistake here. I should have had a rag to dry my flex shaft as it was coming back, but I didn't have one, and you know, it is what it is, guys. I really clean these afterwards anyway, so, you know, it doesn't really matter so much. Open it up really nice for you.
So I knew from that last run that I had already gotten it opened up nice and wide, and this next run here should definitely finish the job. I pulled back a bunch of chunky white grease, and this run here was going to definitely finish it up and completely clean it, and I knew that. And I was really happy to be able to do that for this guy. I mean, it made me happy to just use this machine and be able to use it for what it's meant to, you know, the application, what it's meant for, and be able to show you guys, make this video. It was really important to me.
Yeah,
they say I did it, and
yeah.
In 2 days it was clogged up again.
Right. Right.
So as I'm recording this for you right now, I can tell you that it's been more than 2 days and it hasn't clogged up again on him. So I've already done better than the last guys. And but we know for sure that it's not going to clog up on him because we hit it with a camera after we unclogged it and cleaned it. And so, you know, he was very happy, and he even left us a Yelp review, which was really cool. So one negative you'll hear about the Ridgid flex shaft is that the cable isn't very good. It doesn't last. It snaps too easy. And I think that's kind of misinformation because the cable does not snap very easy. I've actually put this thing through quite a bit of wear and tear in the short amount of time that I've had it, and I wasn't able to snap it. I bought it broken from another plumber who does lining, and he, you know, didn't like it at all. He said it was a piece of junk. He sold it to me for a third of the price, and yeah, he seemed to really dislike the machine. So, but I put a new cable in it. The cable cost almost $500, and I have used the machine quite a bit since then. And I bound it up twice, but because I wasn't using an overpowered drill, I didn't snap the cable. So I was able to take the machine apart, unbind the cable, and get it to work again. And it's just been a beauty. It's taken a little bit of trial and error. Mostly user error, you know, learning. But other than that, it's a great machine. I really love this machine. And everything I've done with this machine, I've recorded it from when I first bought the machine and had to replace the cable because it was snapped inside the drum, to when I had to pull the drum back apart and unbind the cable because I had bound it up inside the drum. When I had originally bought the machine, there's inside the drum, there's a little shield that goes over the cable that helps it from flipping over inside the drum. And I wasn't sure if it had that or not, because the guy who sold it to me, it was gone. It wasn't in there. So I ended up reaching out to Ridgid, and they sent me one free. No problems, no questions, nothing. It was amazing. It's really rare you get that type of treatment from any type of manufacturing brand. I'm telling you, Ridgid and Spartan are the only two brands I've ever had that type of treatment from, and I will never say anything negative about the guys behind the Ridgid flexshaft. The team behind the flexshaft is amazing. They've been nothing but responsive. They've been nothing but great guys. They're quick to answer questions, quick to send out parts. It's just like the only other team I've ever dealt with like that was Spartan, and Ridgid is just is winning me over every day. So now we've got the drain open. It's unclogged and cleaned. We've hit it with the flexshaft, and we're going to go ahead and throw down our 50-foot Amazon camera. This camera was only like $350. It's not that bad of a camera for that price, to be honest with you. Gives you pretty good picture. I don't think that I could really do like inspection with it. It doesn't have sonde for location. Okay, perfect. And I can't really... The view is all right, but it's hard to really be able to determine if there's any cracks. I don't know. I mean, I've been in some drains, it does better than others. It's kind of interesting. But I think it all depends on how much water's in the drain, you know, what kind of bellies are in the drain. Because this drain in particular had a lot of bellies in it. So I ran into a lot of areas where it was going underwater and causing some problems for the camera. But you're able to see at least how clean I got this with the flexshaft. And one thing I want to point out is that I'm really proud of is before I ever got eyes on this clog, I knew exactly where it was just based off of where I was hitting with the cable and when I popped through. And I told you exactly what was going on. I popped through it and thought I dropped into the main.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, this one is like, I let it be because all it does is when it overflows, it just dumps into the lawn.
Right. Yeah, that's better off. You're better off doing that than having it the way it is. Yeah, that drop's clear now.
Good.
I don't know if you could see it before, but there was all this gunk right here, and that's gone now.
Okay. Yeah, you saw me. I saw it before.
Yeah. So that's all gone now.
You showed me that they look like large.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you're good now.
So honestly, if you're a plumber and you don't have a camera, I highly suggest you go right now to Amazon and order one of these, you know, inexpensive Chinese cameras for, you know, inspecting drains like this, because it's going to make your job incredibly easier, guys. I'm telling you. I wish that I had one of these earlier on in my career, and had I known that these, like, I always just imagined these were pieces of junk, but had I known these are actually good,
yes,
these
sir.
inexpensive cameras, I would have picked one up years ago. And I would have, I mean, my life would have been so much easier. It would have been, it's like frustrating that I didn't have one. So get a flexshaft, get a camera, make sure that you're doing it right, guys. Yeah, I appreciate you. Keep watching the channel. Make sure you're subscribed, like the video, leave a comment down below. Until the next one, guys, take care.